Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our third instructional improvement day this year. So, I want to talk to you guys today about something a bit different from what we've been doing. We're not going to be digging into data, but I want to approach something that's come up in the last year that has caught my attention. In all the discussions I've had with teachers and the working together in our PLCs, I hear a lot of the same comments. Things like, we have a hard time getting our students excited to learn, or we just can't seem to get them all engaged, not all of our students. Now, I'm not a genie, I don't have any magic, but I do have an idea I'd love to share with you this year at CASE to help foster some passionate learners here in our building. So when we think about education, we often describe ourselves as being passionate about education. We would have to be, right? We certainly don't get into this job for the money or because it's easy. It's a job with a lot of demands. But we need to change the way we think. And we don't just want the teachers to be passionate, but it's time for our students to also be passionate about their learning. With everything going on, it's sometimes easy to overlook or even just forget how much a difference a kid can make. So let's hear from a kid who's very passionate and not afraid to share that with the world.
I think the world needs a pep talk. I need you to look, people. Look with your eyes. This is where we live. It's a good place. Look around you. What do you see? Volcanoes, sunsets, Justin Timberlake's teeth. Those things are perfect. But I'm telling you, world, we got some work to do. Open your eyes. How cool is it that we're all alive on the same planet at the same time? I think it's time that we start making cool stuff happen. On the planet we live on, there's poverty, hunger, injustice. The world is full of awesome. It's also full of not awesome. On the planet we live on, there's also potential, possibilities. Puppies. Yeah, I said puppies. I'm getting distracted. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad we're all here. We're all born to make a difference. It can be easy to get overwhelmed. Feel like you can't do anything. But that's why we have each other. Yeah, there's lots of bad stuff in the world, but there's also you. And there's me. Time to set some goals. I'm not talking squad goals. I'm talking global goals. All of y'all, the whole world, is my squad goals. What the world needs is love, and also an end to extreme poverty, eliminating inequality, fixing our planet. That's why we got you. That's why we have each other. That's why we got goals, global goals. Together, we're louder. Together, we're brighter. Together, we're gooder. That isn't a word. Global goal number 4, education. Talking about school, I gotta tell you something. School cafeterias can be scary places. Where do I sit? Where do I not sit? Where's the cool table? Let me tell you something. The cool table is wherever you are. In the lunchroom of the world, there shouldn't be a cool table. Nope. The whole lunchroom should be one big cool table. A big table. A table where everybody's invited. Where everybody has a seat. Where everybody has enough. That's the kind of table that I want to be at. That's the kind of world I want to live in. That's the kind of world that we're building. Because of people like you. Yeah, you. I'm talking to you. Let's live in the world where awesome is celebrated every day. Where people treat people like they're people. Those are my kind of people. So get out there. And if you find yourself feeling like it's too tough, remember, you're not alone. There's lots of people at the table. And it's a cool table. Open your eyes. You'll see.
Super Cake, subscribe.
All right, everyone, I want you to take a moment. Go ahead, close your eyes, and I want you to think. Think about yourself. What are you passionate about? Keep your eyes closed. Keep thinking. Some of you are probably thinking about your family, maybe your religion, maybe some political views, things like global warming. Maybe you're even just thinking about a passion you have, a hobby that you like to do in your spare time. What would you do if you were able to teach about a topic of your choosing, your passion, for an hour each week? I know what you would do, probably the same as me. You would seize that opportunity and run with it. We would finally get back some of that ownership, that creativity, not having to follow a script or the mandated curriculum. We we would get to do what we wanted to do, what we had passion for. Now, how do you think our students would feel if we gave them the same autonomy? So, how can we do this? How can we encourage all of our students to be passionate about their learning? So, the question is, how do we do it? My answer? Genius Hour. Genius Hour? I know you're wondering, what the heck is that? Well, it's inquiry based, so it aligns perfectly with our IB units. It's also student driven learning. Let's find out more about what this is. So, what is Genius Hour? Do me a favor. If you've never heard of Genius Hour before, raise your hand for me. Okay, thank you. Now, maybe if you've heard of Genius Hour, or maybe it's also sometimes called passion projects, but you don't really know what it is, show me your hands, please. Perfect. And finally, if you know what Genius Hour is, you've done it before, or you know someone who's really into it, you know a lot about it, would you raise your hand? Great, thank you. All right, let's find out. What is Genius Hour?
There is a movement happening right now in classrooms all over the country that encourages students to explore their own passions and creativity. Students at all grade levels will be engaged like never before. I present to you Genius Hour. This is where student passions come to life. Genius Hour has many roots, but is based on a business practice that Google uses with their development team. They allow their developers to spend 20% of their time at work on projects that interest them, provided that it has the potential to advance the company. The idea is simple. Allow employees to focus on their own passion projects and productivity will go up. There are many commercial projects that have been developed by these 20% projects, including Gmail, Google Talk, and Google News. Fortunately for students, educators have grasped onto the idea and coined the term Genius Hour. This is where teachers allow students to work on whatever project they want during their own learning time. We've all had students in our class that aren't motivated by the traditional school environment. The beauty of Genius Hour is that it provides a path to intrinsic motivation. When students have a say in their learning, they become much more engaged, their confidence is boosted, and the entire learning process becomes, you guessed it, fun. I have 3 rules for Genius Hour projects. The first rule is there must be a driving question. The student needs to be able to communicate what they want to learn about. If we can go out and find the answer on Google with a quick search, then the question is going to need some tweaking. Secondly, the project must involve research. If a student wants to build a model rocket that goes 200 feet in the air, then they need to provide the resources they used for that project. The last part is that the project must be shared. Ideally, the project needs to be shared not only with a class, but shared with the entire world. Some example projects that I had in my 6th grade classroom that turned into really great projects were 2 students that learned to code at codeacademy.com. One girl developed her drawing skills by creating a sketchbook all about wolves, and yet another student brought awareness to the dangers of smoking by creating a website. Genius Hour is one of the most impactful things that I've done in my classroom, and the students love it. It also makes for a great after-school program or activity period project. If you'd like to learn more about Genius Hour, please visit the website geniushour.com. I've posted many articles about topics that you'll likely have questions about, including where do I find the time for it? How do I propose the idea to my administration? As well as a few video interviews with other Genius Hour teachers. Unleash your students' creativity. Give them Genius Hour.
All right, you guys. I know exactly what you're thinking. I can see your faces. In your head, you're going, what does she want me to do? Is she serious? Don't I know that you guys always have all these new curriculums to implement or new initiatives from the district or all these different schedule demands? You never have enough time. I get it. I see your faces. It's okay. I don't want you to worry. I know the first thing you did was think of all the challenges that are in your way from doing Genius Hour, but I want you to stop thinking about them as challenges. I want you to change into a more positive mindset and think of them as opportunities. Give these students a chance to shine, a chance to love learning. That's what we want, right? So I think it's important now that we start to look at the why. Why should we do Genius Hour? How will the students benefit from Genius Hour? Well, the first most obvious reason is student engagement. We find that our biggest pothole on the road to learning is that our students are always given so much information that goes in one ear, out the other, and we can't keep them engaged in their learning. This will fix that. A second thing that's so important is student agency, especially in our IB world. Student agency is crucial. It helps them build leadership skills that they're going to need for their future. The third benefit that we're going to see from Genius Hour is increased collaboration skills. We know how important collaboration is. We do it every day on an ongoing basis. We know its value, and it's a valuable life skill that students will need now throughout life. The fourth benefit is 21st century skills. We are preparing our students for a future that we don't yet know about. The technology is advancing at such a rate that we don't know what jobs that they're going to entail, but we do know they're going to need to be able to be problem solvers, creative thinkers, in order to succeed, no matter what job they go into. The fifth benefit is that they're going to be able to discover their own passions and interests. This is important. They need to decide what they want to be when they grow up, and they need to explore that. In our district, they have to start in 8th grade deciding what career in college they want to go to. I don't want you to just take my word for it. Let's hear from some people more knowledgeable on the subject. In 2018, the Buck Institute for Education released a report that said, project-based learning has been shown to yield a number of benefits for students, ranging from deeper learning of academic content to stronger motivation to learn. A 2016 article about design in PBL said, design principles most commonly used in PBL align well with the goals of preparing students for deeper learning, higher level thinking skills, and interpersonal skills. And our well-known friend Albert Einstein also said, I have no special talents. I am only passionately curious. And that's what exactly we want our students to be, passionately curious. In 2007, an article says, inquiry learning engages, interests, and challenges students to connect their world with the curriculum. Famous athlete Arthur Ashe said, success is a journey, not a destination. The doing is often more important than the outcome. And that's what's so important about this Genius Hour. It's all about the process, not just the outcome, but the journey. And I think to us, the most important point of view is that of a student. Melina Louise said, for so long, I have been told what to know and taught how to know it, but never once did I really feel in control of my learning. It felt like the knowledge went into my brain, stayed there until after my exams, and then was thrown away like a smooth stone into a lake, out of my reach forever. But when you are passionate about something and can learn it the way that your brain understands it, it seems the knowledge takes root. Isn't that the ideal situation for our students? The knowledge takes root. Okay, so now I think it's time for us to talk about what does Genius Hour actually look like in a classroom? So let me help you paint a picture in your head. During Genius Hour, students are doing several things. They are wondering, brainstorming, researching, collaborating, creating, sharing. Anybody notice how these align with our IB units and our content standards? Also, ding ding, Bloom's taxonomy, anyone? And most importantly, they will always keep reflecting. So now what does Genius Hour look like for the teacher? I know that's what you guys are wondering. What does the teacher do? What do we do? Well, here's what you're doing. You're planning. You're planning out how this is going to go, how it's going to be set up in your room. You have to provide some structure. You are asking guiding questions. You're not telling them what to do. You're not giving them every step of the way, but you are facilitating their learning. You are helping guide their learning to where they want to take it. It's also up to you to help make sure that you provide some structure. Just at the beginning of the year, when you set up rituals and routines for your classroom for the year, you need to set up a structure for Genius Hour too. It's not a free-for-all by far. You also need to be able to support and encourage these students every step of the way. They're going to need some guidance, especially as you start this in your classroom. And that's what you're there for. There is no one way to do Genius Hour, and you might have to adapt and change as you learn. So here's a visual for you to help show your students the different steps that are in Genius Hour. So step 1, the students are going to need to choose a topic or wondering that they're interested about, something that they want to focus on and take to the next level. Step 2 is the research, which is how this lends so well into so many of our different academic content standards. They have to research what it is that they are learning about or want to learn about. Step 3 is they need to make and design a way to share what they've learned with everyone. As the video said, ideally the world, but at least with the class. Finally, they're actually going to share and reflect on what they did, and maybe they go back and revisit and take it to another level. There really is no limit here. Okay, and now to address the elephant in the room, the question I know you guys have had in your head since I introduced this. When will I have time to do this? When am I going to have room in my schedule? I know you're thinking it. I've been there with you. But remember, positive mindset, we're going to look at this as opportunities. The best answer is the time to do this is wherever it fits best for your class. As I said, there's no one size fits all. It's going to just depend on what works best for your class. Every class will be different. Every grade level will be different. So here's some ideas. First of all, you could do it as part of your centers or your reading groups, but this would have to be left for more higher grades who have that routine and structure in place, definitely not right off the bat. You could do it during your language arts block, as it ties in so many of our content standards that have to do with language arts, reading, research. It could be part of your IB unit of inquiry because it is inquiry at its finest. Maybe we can fit it in during our library block, or even set in an extra block for the building each week. Or, as many teachers do, they do it on Fridays or towards the end of the week to provide some incentive for the students to get their other learning done. Okay, so as you guys are now trying to wrap your head around everything that's Genius Hour, you probably want to know, where can I find even more information? This presentation is just the tip of the iceberg, you guys. There are so many resources available. You could spend hours, weeks. I lost my summer in the internet sinkhole of everything that's Genius Hour. Here are 5 links to some of the best resources that I found in my own search. But to make it easier for all of you, we're going to make our own classroom. So open up your computers. I know you guys are already into your APS portal, but please open up your Chromebooks, and when you get in your portal, please click on the Google Classroom tile. All right, so once you're in Google Classroom, I want you to see that plus sign that's at the top right corner of your screen. Go ahead and click on that and scroll down and click on where it says Join Class. All right, once you get that window popping up, I want you to type in the code for what will be our case Genius Hour classroom. So type in the code X1ZAGNG and go ahead and click the join. All right, once you've done that, put your hands on your head so I know. Perfect, you guys. You guys are like Google gurus. All right, welcome to our Case Google Classroom. So you guys, this is going to be where I'm going to post and share all kinds of resources with you guys, but you also have the opportunity to share things that you find. So I want you to go in and look at the stream, and there's a link on the stream that's titled Genius Hour Live Binder. This is the most plentiful resource I have found, and I want you guys to go ahead, take the next 5 minutes, and I want you guys to explore all the resources in this live binder. So again, it's on the Genius Hour Live Binder. Now I'm thinking you're probably in your head going, I'm going to need some help. Where can I get some help for this? But you guys, we can do this all together. This is not something that you have to do all on your own without any support. So, who can help you out? Well, obviously, me, your gifted intervention specialist. I'm here to help in many ways. Also, Miss Finnegan, your instructional coach. We are here to help you guys with whatever we can do to make this easier for you. Your colleagues are a great resource. As you saw earlier, we all have varying levels of understanding. The internet, as I said, has so many resources, which we will put into and share within our own Google Classroom. It should all be there, and we'll be updating it all the time with everything that you need. So, don't be scared. Don't be afraid, but get eager to jump on the Genius Hour bandwagon. It's going to make such a huge difference in our year. So now it's almost time for a break, but before you go, do me a favor. You guys go ahead back into our Genius Hour Google Classroom. And on our feed there is a link, and there's a link for an exit survey. So go ahead, make sure you click on that. It's just a couple questions, and make sure you fill that out before you go and take your break. I want to thank you for your time and your attention and your open-mindedness today.